What's up, friends? Today I'm going over everything I've been printing and making this past week. I got into a big drone kick. So I like flying drones, and I've decided to build my first FPV drone. So for anyone out there who doesn't fly drones, that's first person view. And it's drones that have a camera built in and you wear goggles, and so you see what the drone sees and you feel like you're flying. So I could buy one that's pre-built, but that's not really how I work. Also, these are kind of notorious for like you crashing them into things and having to fix them. So I thought it'd be best to just build it right off the bat so that when I inevitably crash it, I will know how to fix it, hopefully. But drones are actually what got me into 3D printing in the first place, because I knew eventually I would want to do this, and I also had a list of things I wanted to print for my other drones, and so 3D printing was kind of a natural path for me, and then I just fell in love with 3D printing. It's so much fun. But this project has been eye-opening. So I'm going to go over all of the prints I used, all of the different files I used. I didn't create any of these. I will have links in the description below for everything I used, but I'm going to show you guys what I printed and how it stacks up to the ones that you can buy at the store, the injection mold frames, and even the really small carbon fiber frames you can get dirt cheap on like Alibaba and stuff like that. And then also canopies that I printed. This is where like the little camera goes. I printed several different files, and then one that I bought, it actually came with this little tiny carbon fiber frame. And then I'm going to weigh all of them so you can see the difference and decide for yourself if it's worth it. And also it'll save you a bunch of filament, so you don't have to try every single print I use. You can check the ones that you like the weight and how they worked out for me, and be able to just go straight to the winners. So we're gonna go through it here, and I'm also gonna show you some other stuff I printed for my drones. Like this is my Radio Master Pocket. I printed this little gimbal cover here because I absolutely hate having to take these in and out every single time I fly, and then put them in this little back part. I always feel like I'm gonna drop them or lose them, and it's also just time consuming and annoying. This, totally worth it. Fits on there great. The only downside is I do have a lanyard I normally keep on this that I did have to remove in order for this to go on. But I just put the lanyard back on when I'm going to use it, and it's not a big deal. I can't do this backwards. Ah! Oh my gosh. Okay, so I'm too stubborn to let it go. There we go. All right. I also printed this little stand, which any one of these that you build the drone on, you just can put it right in there, the battery compartment at the bottom, and set them up, display your drones. I like this file. I thought this was pretty cool, and it does fit better with the store-bought frames. The ones that I print, at least these bigger ones here, this is like a Mobula 8 style frame. It's too thick for it to fit well in this slot. Now the little ones, this is about a 65 millimeter frame. No, that way it works. That works just fine. So I guess it depends what you want to build. All right. I'm also going to show you the drone I just finished building and the case I made for him. This is Big Tuna. He is named that because color-wise, he's exactly the same as my dog Mahi. So, you know, mahi, tuna, it just made sense. This, so ignore this. I had an issue and I'll explain that, but this is Big Tuna. It's on a Mobula 8 frame. It's a Darwin FPV flight controller. The motors are Happy model. What did I use? 1103, 11,000 kV. First drone I've ever built, and I learned a lot doing this. Like I said, it's not done, obviously. The first time I went to fly it, I found out the importance of high heat solder on these battery leads. So I've got to fix that. But very excited about this. I plan to fix it later today and take it on a real flight. The canopy, I did 3D print. The frame, I am using a Mobula 8 frame. And the reason for that is because I actually really liked this print. This is a Mobula 8 print, and it is, let's see. It is about 95 millimeters across. I don't know if you can see that. 95 millimeters across. The actual Mobula 8 frame is 85. Okay, so it is bigger. The thing about this one is, out of all of the files that I used to print these frames, this one was the one that I could depend on to always print well and to come off of the plate without breaking. The problem comes in when it comes to the weight. Store-bought Mobula 8 got 11 grams. The printed one, 24 grams. So over twice the weight, and it's bigger, which, I mean, I'm fine with it being a little bit bigger, but I really do I like this size. The 65 millimeter frames, again, printed in PETG, 6 grams. And I think this is an Air 65 frame. I got it off Amazon. 3. So, again, double the weight. Which, all the weight matters. Especially when it's this little, the weight really does matter. But my biggest problem with these, I'll probably still use these, to be honest with you. My biggest problem with them, though, was it was hard to get them off of the build plate without them breaking. So I did find that I had some colors in PETG that would do much better. The blue did great, the black did pretty good, gray did okay. I could not for the life of me get one of the green ones to come off the plate without breaking. It's just a lot smaller, so it is more fragile. These have more flex. Now maybe I could print it in a different filament and it would be better. Like I said, I do still plan to use these ones, but the first drone I wanted to build, I wanted to be Mobula 8 style. And I'm really happy with the look of this guy. But I felt like going from 11 grams to 24 was way too big of a difference. I thought that would just bog it down and not even be worth trying. Now this one, he is about 83 millimeters, and oh, turn back on. Let's see what he weighs. 27. So smaller and heavier. Now it's a sturdy thing, like you could probably knock this into a lot of walls and it would be okay, but It's so heavy. So I didn't really like that design. This one is weird. It's kind of a weird design, but it is light, 11 grams. So the same weight as this design. Now the difference being, I wasn't convinced I really liked, I did like that you attach like the flight controller and the motors to this, and then you attach this to that part. And then if you crash and break this part, you could just pop it off, reprint that piece, and everything's still attached to this, and you just move it, in theory, to the next frame. I liked that. It was just a little, I don't know. I might still try it someday. It's just not what I wanted to use this time. I had already bought these because I wanted to compare them, and I felt like I like the look of this better. So that's what I'm doing for now. And then you have this one. This one, same premise. This piece is what everything attaches to. 2 grams. And then you've got these little tiny propeller guards, which you put all 4 of them on there. Brings you all the way up to 5 grams. So super light. But these are so thin. There's just, it would do nothing. In a crash, this would absolutely shatter. And I have no doubt that the propeller would still get broken. The motor could still get messed up. Like, they weren't going to do anything to protect any of it. So I didn't want to go with this one. That's in the I wouldn't suggest it pile. Now, I did buy, just for comparison's sake, and because it was on Alibaba for $1, little carbon fiber, 4 grams, and that would be a good option for a fun little build, I think, but it would be one that I wouldn't want to test inside because it doesn't have any sort of propeller guards. I did consider taking a design like this and beefing it up and then attaching it on there, but this as it is would not work at all. Let's talk canopies, because I printed several different designs, and then this one came with this. So that's the store-bought one first, 6 grams. Now this one, 3 grams. This one, 1 gram. That one, 1 gram. And this one, which I don't have a spare of right now, but I did print, was 2 grams. I ended up going with that one. Once I weighed them all, I mean, they were all within a gram or 2 of each other. I just liked the way that one looked best. I thought it was a cool looking, kind of futuristic, almost tank looking design. I thought that was pretty cool. Canopy wise, I think that the 3D printed ones are great. I love them, and I would definitely keep printing those. And I'm going to keep printing these, though I'm going to choose the PETG I used to print them carefully. That I wouldn't print again. That, too heavy, wouldn't print again. This I might. I'm going to test that one out. And these, I really do like them. I wish they were lighter. This is another thing I 3D printed. My soldering iron needed a case, so I 3D printed that, and I like that a lot. I think that turned out good. I'll leave this file below too. And when I build another drone someday, I would print a case for it as well. I like the case a lot. I think that is a good file, and it's got space for batteries in there as well. He just fits right in that way. So I'm very happy with that one. So this was me practicing soldering. Oh, I practiced by learning on this, and then I practiced FPV soldering board after this. This was the first thing I did. And then on the actual flight controller next. Unfortunately, I don't have anything that I could use. Like, that's the positive and negative. It didn't come with any sort of plug. So I don't even know how to test this and see if the lights would all work, if I did a good job. So that's a little unfortunate. But I'm going to assume I did great. So in a nutshell, that has been my week of 3D printing and building. I spent a ridiculous amount of time attempting to build Big Tuna here. And sadly, he's still not airworthy, but he's getting super close. I'm having two problems. Number one, obviously the battery lead came off last time I tried it. Number two, when I tried it, I armed it. I had the throttle all the way down, but when I hit the arm button, it was fine for half a second, and then the propellers went like full throttle, and it wobbled on the table and the lead came out, the battery lead, and it was done then, obviously. So I've got to figure out why it was going full throttle. And I think the problem is when I look at my controller on Betaflight, it shows the throttle at like 989 when it's all the way down. It should be 1,000. So I tried recalibrating it, still at 989. So I think that's my problem. I think maybe once I figure out how to calibrate it and get it to 1,000, to exactly 1,000 when it's at all the way down, that it'll be okay. At least that's what ChatGPT told me the problem was. If you know what might be causing it, please leave me a link down below, or please leave me a comment rather down below, because I would really love to get Big Tuna flying. And I've never done this before, so I really am just guessing here. But I'm having a good time building him regardless. And my soldering skills are improving greatly. At least I think so. So, thank you so much for watching. If you could take a second and hit the thumbs up button down below, it really does help me out a lot with the algorithm, and it would mean a lot to me. And if you want to see more videos, I make different things every week. They're usually very random. I have a lot of hobbies, but they all come down to making things, building things, creating things, and I'd love to have you on board and join me for the next adventure. Thanks for watching. God bless.